Hello,
We're back.
we are back. My name is Tom,
And I'm Kian.
and this is the Jonah Complex. Kian, how are you
It
doing?
is indeed. We don't really have a set intro. We've kind of been,
We do the hello, and
and
we're
we're
back.
back. Yeah,
We do
that
that.
that's the classic. We'll always go back
We
to
do
that
that.
well. But in
Yeah,
terms of closing them, sometimes we name drop at the beginning. Sometimes we like to keep you in suspense here. You know,
yeah.
we like to
It's
keep you
it's
wondering, like, what are these zany kids gonna do next?
well. I think what we're gonna do next is probably um quit.
Yeah, there it
Probably.
is. There it
There you
is.
go.
There's the money shot.
That's what we do at the beginning of every show. We threaten to quit,
Yeah.
and all of
And
you
the
celebrate
only reason we
inside.
do it at the beginning is because we know we'll forget if we leave it to later, and then our
And then
holy
our
running
running
joke
our
will
running
be
joke is,
deceased.
yeah. I feel like the running joke now is just this podcast. The fact that we've been able to keep this going so
The
long.
fact that it still exists is the running joke.
You know, I saw another TikTok today about like, oh, if a guy has a podcast, it's a red flag. These keep coming up on my For You page. It's not it's not good.
I wonder if we joined the trend. Like, did we just hit it too late?
I think we did.
Now
I
I
think
think we
now
did.
thanks to like Joe Rogan and other just shit podcasts. Um
But
podcasts
successful.
true. But podcasts have like a bad rap now.
Yeah, and I think it's because like in lockdown they became so popular, and it's kind of, and I mean, I guess somewhat rightfully so, depending on which ones you listen to. It's associated with this, like, a lot of them, or a lot of the mainstream ones at least, this like hyper masculinity like aspect of the internet, I guess.
Some
Like
of them
this
are
very,
definitely. I mean, at least Joe
yeah,
Rogan, which I
yeah,
guess he
which
is
is, I
like
guess, the most famous one.
he is poster boy of podcasts. But you know,
Yeah, I was gonna,
there are
I
a
had an
wealth
idea,
of good
which,
podcasts out there.
yeah, there are many, like the Jonah Complex. I don't, who said that? Wow,
Whoa, Jamie,
just getting love from all angles.
stop talking on mic.
Enough, enough. Um, I was thinking about this. I was going to mention it in the pre-bit before we recorded, but I figured, why not save it? Because we called the last episode "Don't Call It a Comeback." I thought it
Yeah.
would be really funny if we didn't release an episode for like a month and a half, and then titled that episode "Call It a Comeback."
That would be great. I love the fact that our Don't Call It a Comeback episode possibly did the worst a podcast has
Yeah,
done of ours in ages.
because
Which is
someone's Instagram
partly
was
my fault.
kaput,
Yeah.
was
The
goofing
plug
it.
didn't work. It's calm.
I mean,
All
I
good.
guess we told people not to call it a comeback, and they didn't
They
because
didn't. No, but they listened.
interest
Okay,
was,
so this time they listened. Last time
yeah.
they didn't. This time they listened.
Starting episodes with the word "don't." It's a 50-50 toss up for us.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. So you said you've been back in the gym
I've been
recently.
back. Yes,
Yeah?
yes,
How are you
and it's
finding
been
it?
good as of this week. Good. It is good.
It's weird, isn't it?
Enjoying that.
It's
It
weird.
is a
It's
strange
strange.
vibe to be back. Do you know what it really was? Is last week we were talking about Tech Boy Summer, and I decided how do I
you were like, I'm
initiate
gonna
Tech
get my
Boy
tech
Summer,
boy on.
and that's the only way. It has to be
Yeah,
done.
of course. Absolutely. Fucking hell. Do you when you go to the gym, because I know there's a spectrum of like people who go to gym. There's like, there'll be like your casuals who'll go like once a week or a couple of times a week. And I'm really more kind of that end of the spectrum where you'll just go to like maintain some kind of level of fitness. Or there's like the other extreme where you're on like you're doing fucking like protein shakes afterwards, you're taking supplements during, you're taking supplements
Yeah,
before. Are you where on the
which is
spectrum
a
do you
bit wild.
land?
I'd say I'm somewhere in between.
Do you take teen? Are you
No, I
partial to the
don't.
teen
I've
issue?
dabbled in that arena of that world in the past. At the moment, no, to be honest, just trying to get back
Fair.
into it. Who knows what, a
Yeah.
month's time holds, but you know.
So no like pre-workout shit like that.
No, not at the
Did
moment.
you see that?
Possibly in like a few weeks.
Did you see that trend on TikTok where people will they'll like dry
It's not a
scoop.
phase, mum, or whatever that the audio says.
I'm
It's
a
like,
sick cunt, and then it will like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
dry scoop the pre-workout.
and
It's
then
pretty.
spit
Or
the
then
water in.
some of them have like a variation where they'll get somebody else to like spit the water in
Yeah,
their
in there.
mouth,
Yes, I
which
saw
is
one like that, which was someone in the middle of just a commercial gym, because a lot of them are like inside people's rooms or cars or whatever. But this one
yeah,
was actually inside an ongoing
like a public gym.
public gym, and you just see these people in the background just staring because he gets two girls to then come from like either side and spit the water in his mouth, and you just see this guy behind just looking completely baffled, and
I
it's
think
just
I think if I saw that at the gym, I'd probably just put down whatever I was lifting or like just turn
and
off my
quit.
treadmill and just leave.
Yeah, yeah,
Just leave. At
that's
that
got to
point, it's
get your
just
membership revoked, right?
yeah.
That must
I
be
feel
against
like you
some
deserve
sort of
I feel like you
community
deserve
guidelines.
I feel like you deserve a refund if you have to witness that. Well,
Ah,
did you hear about I saw it on while I was scrolling looking for things to talk about. This woman, um, she like did the dry scoop thing, and I don't know how the fuck, but she had like a fucking heart attack, and she ended up in the fucking hospital.
oh, no. We're not laughing at,
No,
we
obviously
wish her
not.
well, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
but
no.
that is.
It's just such a such, but it's a classic like internet trend gone wrong thing. Like,
Well, because isn't it just like the cinnamon? Wasn't there the cinnamon challenge like
yeah,
a
the cinnamon
decade
challenge
ago?
was fucking people's lungs up and shit, and then the
Because it was
Tide
just
Pod,
dry
the
heat.
Tide Pod challenge was just
Ah,
what was 2016, man? That was crazy.
the
2016
year
was
it all
crazy.
changed, man. 2016 was.
I saw a tweet today which was like any person under 40 can tell you that the killing of a silverback gorilla in a Cincinnati zoo caused the downfall of humanity. They just can't tell you why. And I was like, wow, that's a woke tweet if I've ever seen one. That's a that's a spicy boy take. That one.
Woke and dope, man. That's what it is.
Hell yeah, Jesus.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Internet challenges are
You know, he took
crazy,
a
bro.
he took a juicy sip of his kombucha straight after he hit tweet, and he was
You
gassed.
ever tried kombucha?
No,
Tastes like
actually,
shit.
I'm kind of
Honestly, it
yeah.
tastes like shit. Like
Isn't it like fermented?
actually, I tell a lie. It's okay. It's okay, and you do feel really healthy drinking it. But yeah, it's fermented tea. I think if I've got that correct, it's like fermented tea. It sounds kind of
Isn't that?
gross.
Does it actually serve a purpose, or does it just make you
So
feel?
what it is the science behind it is that fermented foods supposedly have healthy bacteria in them, and
Mm,
you're meant to eat and drink lots of fermented foods to give you what's called a healthy gut biome. And it's like you need bacteria variety in your stomach, and you get that by eating a variety of foods and also by eating fermented foods, so you can like easily digest more things. And it's meant to just make you, that's where the health bit comes in. It's like so
mhm.
you can digest better. I don't know how fucking true that is, but that's what my mum says. So
Wouldn't that just be the most like LA thing ever if it just was something that had no actual purpose but just made you feel healthy? That would just be
yeah,
so
yeah, it
fittingly.
wouldn't surprise me. But you know what wouldn't surprise me? Imagine like I can imagine places just selling like bacteria filled water, but it's like, well, that's kind of what I I say that. That's basically what kombucha is. I'm chatting shit.
Is, yeah.
Yeah, it's just bacteria filled water, but good bacteria, not like E. coli or some shit like that. Like good bacteria,
The good stuff, the good.
the good stuff. But yeah, kombucha's weird. I don't know,
So
man.
back to having a heart attack because
No,
of.
yeah, no. Internet challenges have gone crazy, bro. Honestly, they're mental. I don't get it. Like to
I
be
feel
fair,
like there is an element. You always see that one comment under every one of those challenges gone wrong.
Yeah.
Do you reckon there's an element of truth to it? It's this is just natural selection. It's just like the
Hmm.
kids in probably like, I don't know,
To be fair, it
Victorian
depends. It
times who
depends.
would like throw a rock at someone's window and then get beaten to death, and it's just like, well, that's kind of what happens, isn't it? Really, it's just
Oh,
there's always going to be some, you know.
I don't know. It depends because if it's like, to be fair, there's no inherent. I don't think there's meant to be any inherent danger in like dry scooping pre-workout. You're
No,
gonna
it's not the
ingest it anyway.
advised way of doing it.
No, true, but it's better than like eating a fucking Tide Pod.
That is true.
That's natural selection. If you
It's not
ate
an
a Tide Pod or you went
immediately.
to eat a Tide Pod, you're a fucking idiot. And
This is
that's,
true.
God has a plan for you. Um, but I don't
And
know.
it's not a long plan. It's not the long con, you know. It's a quick
I
payoff.
watched This Is the End the other day. That literally just
The
reminded me.
apocalypse one.
Oh my god, it's so funny. So fucking funny.
I've just seen whenever it gets recommended to me again, I just watch it again, which is the scene where Danny McBride wakes up and then and then he just starts
Well, he
using
just
all the food.
cooks everyone breakfast.
And then they all come
It's,
around him and he
Danny,
goes,
what the
relax, I
fuck?
think and he goes,
It's
relax, I think the
great.
green fucking goblin can afford some more bacon.
Yeah.
uh,
It's brilliant because there's just references to like all of because it takes place in James Franco's house. It just has
yeah.
references to all of his like shitty movies,
Yeah.
like
And
all
then
of
when
the
he goes,
random
oh, at
shitty
least if
stuff.
Michael Cera's dead, it's not a total loss. And it's just like, yeah.
But that's because, bro, in that movie, they make Michael Cera out to be this absolute like cokehead dickhead. Like, there's
uh,
just a scene where like Jay Baruchel walks in on him in the bathroom, and he's getting a blowjob and he's getting like a rim job at the same time from like two different girls, and he's just like got like coke around his nose, and he's just like, "Oh, you can
uh,
come in and piss, honey," to Jay Baruchel. And obviously, it's Jay being awkward, and he's like, "Ah, no, I'm okay, actually, man."
that's classic Jay Baruchel. Have you even seen
Classic.
that? You must have that picture of like Michael Cera just standing on like the sidewalk where he's like dressed like I don't even know some year
I've
six
seen so many pictures of Michael Cera. Have you seen
schoolboy.
the one? Have you seen the one of him like sitting at a diner booth, and he's just surrounded by girls? Like there's
No,
just like, we need to look up. I want to look up like weird Michael Cera pictures.
do it. Let's
Do
do
you
it.
reckon I should? I'll look up weird.
Yeah, go
If I
crazy.
find any, I'll share screen. But yeah, Michael. I feel like every time I see a picture of Michael Cera, it's just like a fever dream. It's just like he exists in some like
Some
limbo.
sleep paralysis demon who's just
Yeah.
been roaming the earth.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Give me a sec. I'm gonna share my screen. But yeah, he's just it's him and Aubrey Plaza's there as well because I think it was for Scott Pilgrim. But yeah, he's just
Oh
surrounded by girls. Can you see it there?
no,
Can you not?
no, I can't.
This is tragic. Wait,
Well, we'll continue and then. Oh,
you've
something's loading.
disappeared. You've
Oh
disappeared.
no. Oh, can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, but I
Oh,
can't see you.
okay. It
Oh, now
shared
you're
screen
back.
and then it disappeared.
Okay, let me see if it'll work this time. Guys, we're very professional here in the Jonah Complex.
We are, we are, we are. Jamie, you'll sort that out, right?
Yeah.
Good, 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 good man.
Yeah, here it is.
Damn.
It's so great. It's my favorite fucking picture.
Oh my god.
Oh, and here's him with Paulie D.
Wow. Look up Michael Cera sidewalk. I want to see if they have that. Oh wow. He's provocative, Michael Cera.
He makes like music as well.
No way.
Like he has like an album out and everything. He's just such an eccentric guy. Oh, did you mean this one?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Scroll down. It might not be there, you know. Because it's him just looking delightfully. Oh, I think it's that picture that they've edited different places. If you go, it's fine. It's fine. It's not that um crazy, but it's just him. That one, the 2009, like the one that says Sundance. If you go up a bit,
This one.
yeah, I think that's the picture, but they made it look. No. Okay, it's not. It's not. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Fair.
But it's just him. He somehow managed to look equally awkward in all of these photos, but in such different ways. He's got the
He's a
most
special guy.
impressive range of awkwardness I've ever seen.
I love him though. He's great. He's brilliant.
Can we
He's
go back? That was the world was a safer place when Michael Cera was the awkward, oddball guy in like 12 movies a year.
how
Can we
old
go
is
back
he
to that
now?
point?
How old is Michael Cera now? Because he's surely like in his 30s.
Probably, yeah.
Michael Cera is 32.
That's not too old, actually.
No,
I would
it's
have guessed
not.
higher,
I
given the fact
also,
that he was
yeah,
in Superbad like 15 years. He must have been really young in Superbad then.
I guess so.
That was 2007, no?
Hmm. So
Impressive.
he would have been like 18. He would have literally been
Wow,
18, which is really
that's
cool.
impressive.
That
Michael
is.
Cera is my comfort actor.
Is he?
We need more Michael Cera back.
We
I think
do
that's
need more
something.
Michael Cera. What is he doing now? Getting
This
a
is something
movie.
that can unify the world.
That's when we know. That's when we'll know that nature is healing. When we get a new
Yes,
Michael Cera
this is true.
movie.
I mean, we were
Fucking hell.
talking about natural selection. We did see another interesting example of natural selection at work. In this case, in the criminal world.
Oh my god. To be fair, it's I think it says more about the impressiveness of like police technology more than like the dumbassery of
This is true.
the drug dealer.
This is true.
It's this story of this drug dealer getting, and he was like a big drug dealer, like he led like rings and shit. And I have no idea why. He posted a picture of some like, was it M&S blue cheese or some shit like
Can you
that?
blame him?
What? Just being absolutely enamored with the M&S blue cheese.
He doesn't love a good bit of blue cheese. Can't go
True say,
wrong.
man. True say. Well, he
Can't go
posted
wrong.
the picture, and I don't know, the police managed to get their hands on the picture and then tracked the drug dealer down by,
Using his
was it using his
fingerprints
fingerprints from the picture and
of
tracing
him
that back.
holding
And
a
then
packet of cheese, which is wildly impressive stuff, actually.
it's also kind of scary, though. I just clocked.
This is true. That is the more pertinent truth here,
Like,
which is
bro, it's 1984. The conservatives were right, bro. It's 1984. Free speech is going out the window as we speak.
done.
God,
We're
God
done.
damn.
We just gotta sit back and watch the fall of an empire
Oh my god, it's tragic, bro. It's
and just
tragic.
make observations that have probably already been made in more successful podcasts.
Absolutely. Oh shit!
Will be
You know what else I saw today? Um, Joe and Liz are having a little get together. Mr. Biden and Miss Queen Elizabeth are gonna have like an official state meeting at some point soon.
nice.
And I
Is
got
he
the
bringing
chance.
Jill along? Because if not, then
I hope so. I feel like Jill Biden
she
could
best keep an
definitely
eye on
take the
him.
Queen, though. I feel like Jill Biden would like proper like 2 foot slide tackle the Queen if she
Oh,
tried anything.
100%.
Like proper like give like a roundhouse kick to the head or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah. And
that.
she's a doctor, bro. If
Is
the
she?
roundhouse kick option doesn't work,
Is she actually?
yeah,
Oh, big up.
she'll
Fair.
just cook up a concoction and pop it in her,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever she
Tea.
eats.
But
Applesauce or whatever.
I was reading the story. My dad showed it to me. I was reading the story, and the Queen has met every U.S. president, every U.S. president for the last like 70 years,
Yeah.
starting with like
She's crazy.
Harry Truman, who was at like the end of World War II, and
Because she's about to hit
the only one she
70,
hasn't
right?
met
Which is why
is,
next year you get
yeah, I think so.
the extra bank holiday or whatnot, which is crazy to think about. I have to say, for all of this, like, I mean, we discussed? I don't think we've discussed this
I don't think
necessarily
we've
much on the
discussed the
pod.
monarchy.
No, I mean, I don't think either of us are particularly fanatical about it or pro it or anything, but
No,
there is something to be said about that is an impressive run.
is it?
I
Is
mean,
it though?
in a way,
Imagine doing the same job for 70 years.
in a way, it's
She
not.
didn't even
But
get a promotion all that time.
I know it's like, come on, you know,
Get better at your job.
move up the ladder. You know, you're just gonna stagnate. You're just gonna
It's a
sit there
dog eat dog
comfortably.
world out here in the corporate jungle.
But I think the really the most impressive thing is just the scale of it. You know, whatever our feelings are about the rest of that institution aside, the scale of that independent run is quite cool. Just to think about in terms of,
Yes, Kian,
you
it's
know,
cool that she's managed to stay alive for 70 years.
yes, that's exactly what I mean. All the resources that have been
I don't
kept
know,
all
man.
good.
The royal family's a weird one. My dad was like, "Oh, it's cool because it's like a constant to compare the rest of like the world's timeline to," which is true, I guess. That's like, they're
So
like
they're just a watch, basically. Is this
essentially
what we're
they're just a
keeping them around
sundial.
for?
They're just a sundial. That's what they are. But apart from that kind of aspect of it and the touristy aspect of it, the royal family's kind of fucked.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question I have, because the tourist point gets brought up a lot. Do you reckon that their value as a tourist attraction is sometimes somewhat overstated? I understand that it is quite significant, but it seems to get given an incredible amount of weight. I don't know if it's
Honestly,
quite that much.
honestly, no, I don't think it is overstated. And the reason I say that is because I think somewhere out there you could probably find a metric to it. There is probably a figure which is like, here is how much the royal family makes, like as a tourist thing. And it's probably a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So, you know, even if it's like in the, don't know, even if it's in the hundreds of millions, which for a country, I guess, isn't like that much for an institution to make, even if it's in the hundreds of millions, that's still a lot of fucking money.
Do you think it'll ever? That is true, yeah. Do you think
Because
it'll ever?
it's meant to be one of our biggest like selling points.
Yes, yeah.
Do
Do
you
you
think
think it
what?
will ever reach a point? Because I reckon, I wonder if this is just a generational thing and it happens when every generation is younger, and then as they grow older, you know, the new generations file in behind them and
Yeah.
tides turn again. But do you reckon that the idea of it all will kind of, because I'd argue that it's probably held in less of a high regard amongst our generation as previous
Oh, what
ones.
do you reckon? We'll just eventually stop caring about the royal family?
Not stop caring, because I don't think it'll be that quick. It's not going to be something that all of a sudden. But do you reckon slowly, you know, people kind of just go, or is it one of those things where as we grow older, it's like it becomes, I don't know.
It's happened in other countries. To be fair, like other countries still have monarchies, but you really don't hear about them.
No.
Like the Scandinavian countries still have monarchies. At least Sweden does. Um, I think France still has one. I think Spain still has one. Um, but you just don't hear about them. So
Yeah.
and the reason I don't actually, I say that I don't know the reason, but for whatever reason, somehow the UK monarchy has managed to maintain relevance.
It's also an element of media as well, though, because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get
yeah, no,
reported on
definitely.
relentlessly here.
Good or bad media, cough, cough, Prince Andrew. But but mm, you know, it's not a good look. It's
No.
actually disgusting look. Um, but you know, for whatever reason they're in the news, they've managed to stay in the news. Um, so in terms of relevance, I think it will be very hard. Or well, I mean, I say hard, like we're actively going to try and forget about the royal family. I think it will
No.
be, a long time before,
Yeah.
if it ever happens, before people forget about the royal family.
Yeah, true. Do you reckon it'll be one of those things where like because I've been watching the Last Dance, the Jordan
The Michael
documentary.
Jordan,
Yeah.
my dad
Uh
watched that. He loved it.
it's really cool so far.
Nice.
But do you reckon it'll be one of those, because there's this whole thing now to do with the NBA where there's a lot of speculation and there have even been some, lawsuits and cases and whatnot to do with the fact that basically post the 90s Bulls era where the NBA made like insane amounts of money off that stretch of time, which was
Mhm.
basically the whole of the 90s. Um, they decided they wanted to keep up that kind of engagement. So there is an element of supposedly some narrative push from the NBA to keep things interesting, right?
Wait,
And
what do
there's,
you wait? In terms of what?
in terms of like the way that they draw the games and whatnot, so it's not rigged per se, like in such an obvious way, but it's designed to follow a certain path. And the fact that now like there are teams which have like way more money and just essentially buy up all the great players, a few teams, and then so the whole thing leads up to these matchups between these two huge
They're
teams that
like
everyone's going to be
Clash of the
dying to see.
Titans.
Yeah, just to keep, oh my god, the tension, blah blah blah. Do you reckon it will be like that with the royal family? Like in 20 years, like people will pay less attention to them, so they start writing stories, writing storylines. It's just like, oh my god, just wild stuff.
Okay,
That's what I want to see. I really want to see
here's a
that.
theory for you. Here's a theory. It's the 1990s. Liz has been on the throne for around 50 years.
Mm.
Charles is happy with his new wife, Diana.
No way. Damn.
Diana's cool and
Keep
all.
going. I'm on the edge of
She's
my seat.
she's great, but she knows a little bit too much about the inner
Shut up.
workings. So they killed two birds with one stone, literally.
Oh my god. You should write this down, bro. This is not.
Bro, who do you think
Let's.
invented that storyline? They were knocking down my door for that shit. I had the draft for the Andrew arc pinned on
Damn, I
my
didn't.
wall
Did
for
you get the
5 years.
writers credit? I didn't see your name in the
Nah, they're a
credits
bit.
for that one.
They make me sign like an NDA for that kind of
Oh,
shit.
okay,
So they
okay,
might
okay.
actually come and kill me
So we
now.
might have to. Jamie will cut this bit out. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take this out in post. But can you?
Damn.
Thing is, though, you say that, and like obviously, like I'm joking. What happened to Diana was like tragic, but you know, there is something to be said about keeping the dark side of like the Andrew and all of the Andrews and the like Jeffrey Epstein connections and all of that. There is something to be said about keeping that like quiet. I will also say there's something to be said about the dramatization of the royal family, and I don't think that's inherently their doing, because think about all the people and the like experts who speculate on the families inner relationships, and like you'll see they've written in whole storylines about how William and
Backstories,
Harry
and it's
fucking
always
hate
like,
each
oh, an
other.
anonymous source close to the. It's just
Yeah,
like,
so
bro, that's your that's
I'm
your
not saying
intern who
they're
is paid £11 an hour to come up with fodder for your slow news weeks. What are you
exactly.
talking
So
about?
I don't think it's like an NBA situation where they're creating these like Clash of the Titan. Oh my Clash of the Titan matches. But what I am saying is, I don't think they're out here denying any of the, like, family drama pieces that these
Yeah.
tabloids keep putting out week after week. Because I'm yet to see Harry and Will come out and say, no, we're actually tight, which, you know what, 99% guarantee they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're
That's true.
calm.
That is true. That is true.
So
Got to keep the people. It's an icon
it
culture.
is, it is, it is
We've discussed
currently
this many times.
what?
It's a celebrity culture.
Oh,
That's
of course.
just what you got to do.
Well, the royal family, arguably the world's longest running reality TV show. You think I'm joking? They put their
It's true.
wedding,
It's true. I'm
they
not
put their
even.
wedding live on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm
Where do
amazed
you
they didn't.
think
I'm
the
amazed they didn't
Kardashians were
live stream
taking
the
notes
birth.
from? You know,
Yeah, but yeah.
that's how you do.
So that's my 2 pennies on the royal family, and I think with that we should probably leave it there.
Yeah. We ended up far away from the topics we initially thought we'd end
As
up
is
with,
the
but
way.
that's
As is
just the
the
Jonah
way.
complex way.
What should we call this episode?
Ooh.
Because we had two bits here. We had the Michael Sarah tangent, and we had the royal
Yes,
family
we did.
tangent.
And then we
Is it
opened
with the gym talk?
the gym talk and the blue cheese business.
Mm.
So we've got so many avenues we can go down.
Jamie, could you start writing some ideas
Start
down?
working on the title.
Cheers. Excellent.
Hurry up. All right.
I love
I'm
how I
sorry.
love how I love how our Jamie is like in the same direction, but we're probably facing opposite. My point is
This
logistically,
is
it
just too
probably
much
doesn't
waffle now.
work out.
This is just our
Oh,
post-recording meeting that we haven't finished
we
recording for.
should have we
We'll
should
see
have
you next
cut
time.
like 30 seconds ago. Anyway, catch you next week, guys. Bye bye.